I'm newly single, so to deal with the breakup, I decided to start seeing a personal trainer. I'm not trying to look better, I'm just trying to fill that void of having somebody make me feel like shit about myself. Working out. My gym has 3 classes, and I tried one out. I went to the aerobics class, but it got a little weird because I was the only guy in the class. And the instructor was like, "Good job, ladies. Keep up the great work, ladies." I was like, "Hey, just so you know, there's a dude in the class today." She's like, "Oh, I know. I was only talking to the ladies. You were terrible at aerobics." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "All you do is sit there with your cell phone and take pictures. What's that shit about?" I really like aerobics. This is true. Since starting comedy, I have lost 107 pounds. Thank you. So if anyone was wondering just exactly how much a soul weighs, seriously, I can't lose any more weight and I'm dead inside. So I've been in LA for a year and a half. I moved here I'm originally from Buffalo, New York, and the biggest adjustment I think is seasons. Because in LA, and maybe you experienced this in Vegas, people still act like there's seasons here. Like my friends were like, "It's the first day of summer, we gotta go to the beach." I'm like, "Every day is the first day of summer. What are you talking about?" But then I realized it's a real thing. Back in December, when I went to my favorite coffee house and I ordered an iced tea. And the barista said, "Sorry, we don't serve iced tea." Like, I've been here a dozen times, I've gotten iced tea, I know that's not true. Well, she goes, "Well, no, it's December now. December through March is warm beverage season." As I said, it's 78 fucking degrees out. What are you talking about? She's like, "No, you can get some pumpkin spice thing, some warm apple cider. You can't get an iced tea. What do you want?" I go, "Oh, I guess I'll just take a hot tea." She goes, "Anything else?" I go, "Yeah, a giant fucking glass of ice." And she says, "I swear to God, what are you going to do with that ice?" I'm sexually repressed. I'm going to chew on it. What do you think I'm going to do? She says, "If I see you put one drop of tea in that ice, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And I'm like, "Good, because this order is now to fucking go." And that's the story of how I got kicked out of my favorite coffee house. I'll open up a little here. I recently had a one-night stand attempt. I got the girl back to my place. We're sitting on my bed, clothes are on, we're just making out, not a big deal. And she stops me and she says, "What are you into?" And I was like, I'm into this. This has exceeded my expectations. She's like, "No, like, what's your fantasy? What's your fetish? What's your deepest, darkest secret in the bedroom?" And I was like, "Oh, to be loved?" You guys don't know whether to laugh or feel bad for me right now. I had another date, similar thing. I went on a date with a MILF, but I didn't realize she had a kid until later in the date. We were back in her place, in the living room, similar situation, just making out. I get distracted, though, in her living room. I'm like, what is that there? Is that the new PlayStation? She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's the new Madden. You're 38 years old. What's going on?" She's like, "Oh, that's for my son." I'm like, "You have a son?" She's like, "Yeah, is that a problem, or you want to do this?" I'm like, "No, let's do this." "Do you have an extra controller?" "Do you have pizza bagels?" All right, this date is over. My last girlfriend dumped me because of something I said on a comedy podcast. something I said on a comedy podcast. The podcast had 6 listens. 6 listens! Do you know what that means? That means one of the listens was her, and the other 5 were me trying to figure out what the fuck I said wrong.